Don't limit yourself. Many people limit themselves by thinking that this is the only thing that they can do. But you can go as far as your mind lets you go. What you believe, remember, you can achieve. Welcome to Story Makers. My name is Keshav Puri and I'm back again with another wonderful story. Another engineer with me who is a successful entrepreneur and he's doing wonders at the age of just, okay, I won't take that number, but under 30 is what I need to mention. So let's welcome him on the show, ladies and gentlemen, Samir Sadana. Samir, hi.
Hi.
First of all, how are you?
I'm good. How are you
doing? I'm good, man. Thanks. I love your smile and I love the energy that you guys entrepreneurs have. You're so poised and calm down. But when it comes to talking, you guys have great talks to share, and that's what the show is all about. We share some great stories so that anybody who is sitting behind the camera on this TV or a mobile screen, they can learn from this episode something or the other, right? Which can help them achieve wonders in life, right? So I got to know that you are a founder of AppX, and you've opened like 2-3 other companies as well, consultant companies as well. So before we jump to your professional part, how about we talk about your childhood and your college? So if you can brief that a bit.
So basically, typically a West Delhi boy, happy West Delhi boy.
Oh, lovely.
Grew up in Motinagar and went to a normal school. Post that, didn't get very good grades, so went to again a normal college and completed my engineering. I think by the end of my engineering, I knew that this is not going to help me achieve the kind of finances I want in life.
Right.
And so I think by second year onwards, I and my friend, we started dabbling into a couple of ideas that we had. We created a lot of projects and eventually some of them worked by the end of, by the time we completed our engineering. And post that, then I ran that company for the next 3 years or 4 years.
Wow.
And once we were into that market, we were mostly working with the YouTubers of India and outside the world, outside India as well.
Okay.
So not outside the world,
Of course.
but so there we recognize, like there is a whole new market, a whole new segment that is opening up, which is a lot of creators. Their only bread and butter used to be brand deals at that time. when
Absolutely, yeah. That's what they earn from.
Yeah. And gradually, the way the market was shifting was these creators started making more money if they started selling something like a meaningful product to their audience. Like it can be a merchandise, it can be, let's say, a course. They can talk about their journey in a more deeper manner. So these things help them make more money than the brand deals. And for that, they needed the technology part to be solved. So therein we got in and we built this company that I'm currently running.
Right. So you were in CS or IT?
I was in CS.
CS, better guys, because IT guys, sorry, but तुम लोग क्या ही करते हो? नहीं, just kidding. But lovely, yeah. So you solve the tech problems, whatever these creators are having.
Right.
So any creator who's watching us right now, they can reach out to Samir Sadana and for their any tech problems, and that will be sorted out. AppX is the company's name. So again, when you talk about this tech thing, I see a lot of players in the market who are solving these tech problems. How you differentiate AppX from them? And how you solve the technical problems of all these creators, because genres are different,
Right.
so how do you cater that larger audience?
So see, it's not that difficult to, let's say, build tech in general, for any creator.
Okay.
The place where it gets difficult is when you scale. So let's say you have, 1,000 or 100,000 students or users visiting your application on day one.
Right.
Then that is where things get complicated.
Okay.
Because there you have to keep your costs in check. You have to have that infrastructure that can handle that sort of traffic that is coming to your site, and you don't have any time to prepare. Like you launch and on day one itself you are there at 100,000.
Right.
So it's not like you gradually get there that you're able to, let's say, build your own solution. And it takes time for even the bigger companies to get to that scale. So their engineering ramps up over time. And that is where we come in, because we work with so many creators. We have seen scale, like a lot of our creators have more than even 10 million installs on their applications. So we have like people who are communicating through their application or through their websites with more than 1 crore people in India.
Wow.
And because we're able to handle that so well, so that is where we kind of distinguish ourselves from everybody else in the market. Is that we will manage your scale better than anybody else in the world. And that is, like a bold statement, a promise I can make to every creator.
Wow. So the traffic that comes in you manage that so that there's no lag or there's no
there are no crashes, and also it fits in your budget. Like as a creator, you can't, let's say, go ahead and sell something that is worth 1 lakh rupees.
True that.
So you have to keep your audience in mind while you create a product, and those are priced very economically.
Right.
So in that in that pricing, you have to then pay your let's say you have a team, you have your those salaries, everything,
whatever.
And therein tech is going to be a part of a major part of your expense. And if we don't come in and, let's say, control that expense for you, so it might be that distinguishing factor, what makes it or breaks it in the longer run. So it's costings plus that managing that scale, and so that is where we kind of help.
Right. So you have models for a creator who has just started and a creator who has just, for example, 1 million, 2 million followers. So there are different models for different creators.
Yeah. So we typically the way we work is we charge a certain cut of the revenue that the creator generates, which is in single digits, and that cut kind of pays our server bills, pays our technology cost, and because we have been doing it for the last 4.5 years, so we have, let's say, built a very robust technical solution for every requirement that the creator may have.
So for example, if the creator has just started, it's been a year, and that person is watching us right now. So can we say that the person can scale up? For example, if that person does it by himself or herself, it takes 5 years or 7 years to make that. And if they join you guys, or they happen to associate with you guys, then that time can be shorter.
Yeah, it has been a 4.5 year journey for us.
Okay.
And it's going to be longer than this for any creator who is doing it on his own.
Okay.
So to manage that sort of a scale,
so they can save years, as in they can save their 50% of their, if I may say.
I think they can start in just one day.
Okay.
If they don't, let's say, go ahead with a solution like ours, so they will have to get their own tech team in place. It will be a minimum of 6 to 12-month journey to get just the basics done for you, and then the scale games they begin. And those are places wherein, let's say, even the bigger companies could lose, and if you're a creator and you launch something, so it's like you have your 3 or 4 day golden window in which you will be selling most of that stuff.
Right.
So if you miss that, then your revenues, everything is down the drain.
That's the point.
So therein we come in and we kind of solve that entire problem for you. We take care of the tech part so that you focus
so from the day one the person gets started with all the things ready for in a platter sort of thing, right? Lovely. That's fantastic. And I also got to know that why Combinator invested in AppX. And as we all know, and as we've read around, that Y Combinator is a very choosy investor. They have their checklist and everything. So how did that happen, man? It's first of all, congratulations for that.
So that basically, I was coming from private engineering college, so I was like, I'll not be able to get my company funded ever. So my focus was, on profits and on numbers. Like where are we reaching? How much profit am I deriving out of the company? So because of that, it kind of kept our numbers in check for a very long time. And then once COVID hit, that entire market of edtech and that creator thing boomed. Like almost every platform, like YouTube, TikTok, whatever, name it, their views skyrocketed. And suddenly this sector became hot. And we were that company which had everything. We had the numbers, we had like the right business model, we had the profits in place at that time, and I would say luck favored us, and we somehow got in it. I've seen, I've heard stories that like people prepare for it, like there are sort of coachings that some founders run for other founders to get into YC. But I think we got in with just like a 2 hour
round interview.
Like interview was just 10 minutes. Like we just sat at 7 p.m. This is something we have to apply to.
Right.
And by 9 p.m. we were done. And luckily we got in. Like we had done no prep. But the business was sound. So that is, I think, what mattered.
So YC also found this business quite.
YC fortunately is very meritocratic. So if you have like, let's say you're from very good engineering college or very good college in general, so then your chances of getting in are very likely. Like they will invest in, let's say, an MIT graduate or a Harvard graduate of that sort.
Right.
But other than that, you have to build your business. So get your numbers, right. And if your numbers are right, they'll put in their money. There'll be no two questions about it that you will get in.
Fantastic. So what changes came in your life when YC happened?
So I think a lot of exposure, a lot of knowledge. Like what YC does is they run kind of a workshop for 30 days, wherein all top founders, like if you've heard of companies like Airbnb, Razorpay,
Right.
so they come in and they give a personal talk.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we were the COVID batch, so everything was remote, and we were in India.
True.
If had it been now you get to visit the US, and those founders are there in front of you. Like there have been in the past, like Mark Zuckerberg has come and delivered, delivered a speech, and Sam Altman, if you know from ChatGPT, he was I would say, I think some ex-director of YC.
Okay.
So these are the kind of people you get exposure to.
Wow,
You
man.
get
It's
to
huge.
learn. You get to learn how they think,
Yeah.
how they operate, and you also see, that those become your benchmarks. So once you have that high of targets to kind of
Right.
achieve in life, things start to you start to get humble, and that keeps everything in check.
I can certainly see that in you as well. So fantastic. Acha, I also want to know one thing. How did you land to AppX? Because you've done engineering in fourth year only. You had your own company and all of that, and then things happened. So how you land to this sector, this space?
I myself, was a physics educator
Okay.
on one of my competitors' platforms.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
So I used to teach there, like in college, for I think 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
The founder of that company then himself onboarded me,
Okay.
and while I was teaching, I kind of had that epiphany or whatever you call it. Ki, this is not the way the market is going to run in the longer terms. Like people are going to get their own like academies. They'll not be running on one academy pe nahi honge wo, they will have their own academies
Correct.
in place.
Correct.
And for that they will need a software that competes with the likes of Byju's and the companies like that.
Correct.
So then I kind of switched gears from, let's say, a physics educator to being the computer science graduate that I was.
Yeah,
And
of course.
gradually then I would say we slipped into this business with some of the best creators that YouTube had to offer at that time.
Right.
And eventually it worked out. While I was in college, I had started one another company that was into consulting. There also I was mostly working with YouTubers, but they were outside of India. So I had my own personal capital to invest in.
Okay. Nobody backed you up there.
I got lucky.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's eventually, I see other people struggling a lot. I think I had the right resources available to me, which I was, let's say, able to use.
Probably end this episode or wrap this up. Just want to ask quickly, what is the future looking forward with AppX, and anybody who's ready to jump in with you guys? First of all, where they can go. This is the camera. You can tell them where they can go, and if they want to meet you, they want to reach out to you.
I'm active on LinkedIn and Twitter mostly.
Twitter and LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the future, we recently completed 5,000 creators who are using us.
Okay.
We have 2 apps who recently completed their 1 crore installs each. And so these have been some benchmarks that we have achieved. We also achieved cumulatively creators have earned more than 1,000 crores using our platform by now.
Wow.
So that is a number also we recently hit. And I think we are only going to go 10x from here. And
Superb.
so yeah, just trying to scale things up from there.
Superb, man. The future looks good there. I certainly feel that. And good, you can reach out to this guy, Samir Sadana. We'll drop down the links in the description. You can check that out. Twitter, he uses the most, and LinkedIn. So if you want to drop a text or whatever, this guy is available. Otherwise, some manager could probably reach out, right? But good to speak to you. Thank you so much for taking our time, and it was lovely talking to you. And I hope the creators who are watching us right now seek some help from the video, some insights coming to you directly. All right, thank you so much for joining in. This was Keshav Puri, and this was a lovely episode with Samir Sadana. Story Makers makes your life a little better by sharing some lovely, insightful stories, so that you can do better in your life and you can start something which you're just thinking to do. Why not? This episode will help you out to start and get that going, man. That's what we think of, right? Thank you so much for joining in. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Our thoughts shape who we are. They actually decide our future. This simple yet powerful message is the essence of our new episode on Story Makers today. The show where we bring to you stories of individuals which entertain you, transform you, and yes, they surely inspire you. Hi, I'm your host Simran, and today I'm very happy because I'm sharing the stage with a very vibrant personality who is a young entrepreneur, and he's also Amazon best-selling author. Please allow me to welcome Mr. Sankhadeep Dutta on our sets today. Welcome to you,
Thank you
Sankhadeep.
so much.
How
Thank
are
you.
you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
It's so good to have you here with us, and that I know that you're a best-selling author and you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I would like to start with this very important question, which is, how has been your journey all through? What inspired you to be an author and an entrepreneur?
Correct. So I actually was born and brought up in Kolkata, and one of the aspects that is, so it's a very traditional Bengali family. I did not hail from a family of any business. I was a voracious reader. I was always very fascinated by business and finance. And reading allowed me to understand various aspects about business and finance. So the more I read in all those books, and I have read about 50, 60 books, I guess, by the time I was 17.
Okay.
Just in the genre of finance.
Okay.
And I studied so much in that aspect that it really it grew my fascination to a greater extent. And I was really driving myself towards that extent that I have to be in business. I have to do something regarding business.
Wonderful.
So that aspect, that urge, that inquisitiveness grew from my reading, I would say. So I attribute a lot of my success that I have today to my reading ability.
Wonderful.
So that is the same thing that drove me to writing books also. And if you see, the primary message of my writing is about the mind, it's about the thoughts. And the reason I wanted to get into that aspect is I wanted to really make the audience know that it's the quality of their thoughts that is what actually shaped their future.
Correct.
And that is the reason I ventured into writing. Even though at that time, if I really tell you, there was paucity of time. I didn't have too much of time to write. But then COVID allowed me some good amount of time to write also.
Correct.
And I was writing the books only with the focus that I make the audience know what it really takes to succeed. And with that aspect only I started writing. And first I published Mastering Your Mindset. That book got a very good feedback from the audience. And thereafter I went on to publish my best-selling book, The Psychology of Success. I was actually one of the youngest author to be featured in the World Book Fair in the non-fiction category. And then it went on to get featured in London Book Fair, Frankfurt Book Fair, and book fairs across the world. It elicited a very good feedback from the readers. And so many people have just connected back to me and saying that, you know, this is the message which really got me motivated or got me inspired.
Certainly.
That again drove my passion to another extent, because all I wanted to do when I was writing is to help people. And the moment I saw people are really getting helped, so that made me feel like really I am doing something as an author. Truly I am able to fit in that role. So these are the two reasons I would say. So if you pinpoint, I will pinpoint it all back to my reading habits, both the aspects, whether it's my entrepreneurship and the fact that I'm an author.
So wow, what we got to hear from him is that reading is a very, very good thing. And right from the formative years, if you pick up this habit, it leads you to become a good author, and of course, entrepreneur journey becomes very easy. Now that you've told us about your book, and what attracts me here is that the kind of thought process that you carry is, of course, what we think we are.
Yes.
And you've been, instilling this. Now, could you please elaborate what all that you're trying to send message to all those people, all those young entrepreneurs and young voracious readers? What is it that they are looking at from your book?
Actually, it is like our journey is actually dependent on the quality of our thoughts. What we think, so we become.
Correct.
And so when we are starting out now, we have this big vision and we really don't know how we achieve that vision. So it sometimes feels very daunting. Sometimes you might feel fear, sometimes the fear might be the fear of failure.
Yes.
You might feel that I will fail. What if I fail?
Yes.
Because I'm doing something unconventional. I'm doing something that maybe nobody in my family has ever done before. And what do I do if I fail? So that fear kicks in and you stop yourself from realizing your dream. The message that I want to give is that, you know, you get life once. You get to live this life once. And if you really allow your fear to hold you back, then in that case you are killing your dream yourself.
Yes.
So in my aspect, whenever I felt any fear, I understood that fear, as the great Zig Ziglar said, is nothing but a false evidence appearing real. Fear is actually false evidence appearing real. It comes across as a very daunting thing that, you know, that holds you back. Your job is not to allow it to hold you back. You have to overcome the fear. You have to make sure that you understand that if you let fear hold you back, then you are never going to realize your dream. And anyone you see who has achieved greatness, who has achieved great things in life, they have always had fear, but they have been able to overcome that fear. So it's not that you have to have absence of fear. Fear will always be there.
Yes.
But you have to learn to overcome it. You have to train your mind in such a way that you are able to overcome that fear.
How beautifully you've put it.
So
How
that is the main aspect that I would like to convey.
Wonderful that we got here again, that fear should not stop you from living your dreams. Now, of course, fear didn't stop you and you became a great author, but I also know that you are an amazing entrepreneur and there is a lot you are doing under one umbrella. Please let us know about that.
Well, in my entrepreneurial journey, first the real passion started because, and I think it helped a lot. I was fascinated by finance. So finance really helped me. So I understood and studied so much about finance, and hailing from that background helped me a lot in understanding numbers. You know, how to do investing. All these aspects really helped me while I was thinking about my entrepreneurial journey. Because when you start a business, you have to understand cost, what is the profit, what is the capex, opex. So if you have the aspect of knowledge regarding finance, that definitely helps you. So we first started, I really started in the aspect of finance. Then I went on to start my edtech firm called The Learning Curve. And The Learning Curve is an upskilling platform where we are basically upskilling the students for preparing them to navigate through the choppy waters of life, not only to secure a good job or to get ahead in their life, but also to make them mentally strong. So what we are focusing there is to make holistic development of one individual. So that's how we are different there, and that's the reason our success has spoken and resonated with the people. We have got multiple awards in terms of Learning Curve, and many of the students, whoever has taken our courses, they have always had very good reviews to share with us, because our main focus in that business is not only profit, the focus is actually to create human capital. And that capital, because you know, India is a nation, as we all know, 65% of the population is below the age of 35. So we have this huge demographic dividend to utilize, and for that reason I decided that I can contribute greatly if whatever knowledge I had, if I share that with people, and if I have to share it in a proper way. And that was the creation of the platform called The Learning Curve, where right now it has become a great success. So that is the entire thing that we have focused on in terms of Learning Curve. As far as my serial entrepreneurship is concerned, I went into food business thereafter. I invested in food sector. We have right now 2 food brands called Tea Stories and Momo Memories, and we are operating in Kolkata, Bangalore, Delhi. Very soon we are going to open in Punjab and Hyderabad.
Wonderful.
So this has also been very successful, and customers wise. So it is like the joy of creation is what drives me in the aspect of entrepreneurship. That creation aspect is really what inspires me to do more. And as far as our holding company is concerned, we are actually going to open, we are getting into the hospitality industry, so we are going to open our first hotel in Manali as of September.
Wow.
So that is the entrepreneurial aspect. It's about it's a mixture of risk-taking ability, and it's a mixture of understanding numbers and actually following through the vision. And these combination has what made us successful.
This is such a great journey. When I hear about you, you say that joy of creating things, and that you've been doing. Now you're not only creating things for yourself, but you're doing it for so many people. Like, you know, the kind of the Learning Curve says that you're helping to people to upscale them, you know, also giving them skills. They can honor their skills, you know. This is superb that you're doing. Now, I would like to know that you've been doing so much. Now, you must be having 5-year plans from now. What is it that you're looking at?
Yeah, one of the aspect is that India, to really, my 5-year plan is, very much connected to India.
Okay.
So what it is all about is that India, I see, is very much at the same juncture where America was in the early 20th century or in the late 19th century. America was a village economy, and it got transformed through a very, very ambitious bunch of entrepreneurs like Rockefeller, like Andrew Carnegie, and many others, Thomas Edison and all, who created this entire ecosystem through which the village economy, which was actually very much in deep dire state, got transformed into one of the biggest, greatest powers
Correct.
in the world.
Correct.
I see India standing at the same
Same
juncture.
juncture.
Today, India is a shining spot. India has all the things it takes. Indian story, if you talk about, it is all favorable. India is the shining star, and today, if you don't invest, if you don't take the risk, it is going to be a huge act of omission on your part. So that aspect is what drives my 5 years vision. So I see myself, we are going to be investing on our existing businesses. As I told you, learning curve will keep upskilling people, will take it to a bigger and bigger extent, where this 65% of the population is what I intend to serve. I need to upskill them, I need to make their mind proper, and I need to make them understand that they can do whatever they want. If they visualize, if they dream big, whatever they want to achieve in life, they can achieve in life. Similarly, in my food business, I need to make it bigger. I need to make it even more customer friendly, consumer friendly, and I need to make sure that all the goals and objectives we have set as an organization, we achieve that over the next 5 years. Then if you come to the hospitality, one of the greatest sectors to be in today, with the rising income,
Correct.
with the per capita income rising the way it is, and India being what it is today, it's absolutely perfect time to be invested in the hospitality sector, and that's the reason we are doing that. So I see very good things happening in as far as that sector is concerned, and I think we will be able to grow our business in a very, very good way. And through this process, what is really dear to my heart is that business is not about only profit generation. Profit is a part of it, is a very important part of it, because that's what sustains your business. But for me, I want to use that profit for my philanthropic objectives that I have.
Wonderful.
So I have those philanthropic objectives of helping people.
Wow.
So whether it's my book or my business or philanthropy, fundamental basis is the same. How can I help people? And if you want to help it in a proper way, you need to create it in a sustainable manner. And that's the reason creating a business platform always helps you. And that's the reason we need to make sure that we achieve all the objectives we have set internally as organizations, and we then take it forward to an extent where we can do our bit of the philanthropic aspect that we have set for ourselves, including that includes building a hospital for the needy, where they will get treatment fully free of cost.
Wow.
And I have my role models for it, and I have seen them do that, and I at a very early age decided, okay, I have to do something like that. At that time I didn't have the money also to think something like that. Later the money came in, businesses became successful, I got the success that I desired, and then I understood that, okay, because I thought at that time, right now it's going to be possible, including we are actually in touch with many ministers who are actually going to be helping us in that
Wonderful.
project as well.
Wonderful.
So thanks to them as well. And this is what we are trying to build over the next 5 years.
Superb. So again, here talking to you, I got to know here that what all matters is our intent.
Yeah.
Now that you have an intent to help people, the all setup that you've been doing all through your life is to eventually go out and do your work for the society. We really wish you all the luck for whatever thoughts that you have. For next 5 years, I'm sure you're going to reach your point of success in
Thank
life. And lastly, now that you're a great entrepreneur doing so very well in the industry, now there are a lot of people, lot of young readers plus young entrepreneurs who are watching you.
Correct.
Please give that one message that they can be like you.
Well, the fact is that all of the entrepreneurs who are there right now, or even the aspiring entrepreneurs, they have to understand one thing, that whatever they can dream about and whatever they will visualize, they can achieve it, they can realize it. So all of you need to understand one aspect. here. And that aspect is very simply that whatever you see in the world, it happens twice, one in your mind and then in reality. So that aspect you all need to understand, and there is no reason to be fearful about failure or fearful about anything. You think something as big, like the fear comes across as very big, but if you if you confront that fear, you will be able to get over it.
Wonderful.
But if you get held back by any fear, you will never be able to realize your dream. So all of you out there, you all have the potential and capability to reach whatever goal you have set for yourself. Just go and take the plunge. Whatever you dream and whatever you visualize, you can achieve it. That's my fundamental message to all of the young aspiring entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dutta. What a wonderful advice that you just gave to us, that we can conquer our fear. Thank you for being here on the sets of Story Makers. And yes, my dear friends, I'm sure that by today's episode and today's story, you would have received a wonderful message. And yes, if you have, then please do implement in your life. Till then, Simran signing off, but I promise that I will be back with yet another personality sharing their story. So stay hooked and stay tuned, and yes, do not forget to stay blessed.